Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's video is all about IELTS Academic Writing Task 1. In this video, we will discuss the step-by-step method on solving Task 1. Specifically, I'm talking about the statistical charts, the bar graphs, line graphs, pie charts, that sort of stuff. So in this video, we will discuss how we can categorize these type of questions, how to analyze them, and also then how to write them, present them. After this video, I'm sure you will be equipped with enough knowledge, especially if you're starting out, to start solving these type of questions and what you need to keep in mind in order to get a decent band score, that is 7 and above. But before we begin, let's first discuss how the paper is assessed, because it is very important for everyone to understand how they're going to get assessed, how they're going to get marked. If you do not know this, then you will not have the understanding, the knowledge of things which you need to keep in mind while attempting these type of tasks. So let's quickly just go through how the writing paper is assessed. The first criteria is, of course, task achievement, which means that have you fully answered the question or not. So what do we mean by fully answering the questions? Well, it means that you're fully covered all the requirements of the task appropriately. You've spoken about the key features and have clearly and logically presented them, right? So what are the key features? We will look at them shortly when we look at the question. The next criteria is coherence and cohesion, which means that are your sentences easy to understand? Are your ideas structured, organized, linked? In short, the information and ideas which you have presented should be logically sequenced and should be very clear and easy to understand. Then we move on to lexical resource, which is essentially vocabulary. That means have you used wide variety of vocabulary accurately and effectively. So you have to be very precise in your use of vocabulary. That means the meanings should be specific to the task and you should be skillful in your choice of words. And then the last criteria is grammatical range and accuracy, which is, as the name suggests, is the use of wide variety of grammar structures which you need to use again accurately and effectively. So these are the 4 categories on how your IELTS paper will be assessed. So that means that you have to do well in all of these 4 categories, decently well, in order to get a score of 7 bands and above. So today we will be discussing the questions which are statistical in nature, such as bar graphs, line graphs, and pie charts. Now this type of data which you get, so you need to analyze this data and write a report of 150 words. Now we will look at 2 bar graphs as an example in order to understand what are the different type of data which you get and how you can categorize them. So let's look at the type of questions which we get for IELTS writing task 1. Now here in this question, we can see that there is a bar chart which shows change in population in cities in a country between the years 1994 to 2024. So here we have city A, B, C, and D, and this bar chart shows how the population has changed over the span of 30 years. So it is quite common to get questions where we can analyze how the data has changed over a particular period of time. In this case, population has changed over a span of 30 years. However, it is important to note that this is not the only type of question you can get. Sometimes you are comparing, like in this bar chart. We will not describe how the population has changed over a period of time because there is only 1 year given. Here we will talk about which city has the highest population or the lowest population. So you can get questions where things have changed, where we are discussing trends, and then you can get questions where we are comparing. In this video, we will look at questions where we are looking at trends, how the data has changed over a particular period of time. Now, whenever we are looking at change, then we use vocabulary such as increase, decrease, or in some case, when the data does not change, we can use words such as steady. And of course, their synonyms. You can pause the video here and note down all the synonyms for these words, because it is important to use different words as it will help you increase your score in terms of vocabulary. Now, once we have analyzed our chart, we have identified that this is a type of chart where we have to discuss trends, where we have to discuss change in data over a period of time. Then our next step is to group the data. Now, in this case, we can see city A and city C. The population in both of these cities has increased, so we will group them together. In case of city B, the population has remained unchanged, and in city D, the population has declined. Now, you might ask, why is it important to group the data? The reason behind this is that it will help you to answer your question in a logical manner, because here in this case, you will present the data of city A and city C together, and then you can describe the data of city B and D. So in one go, you are talking about things which have increased, and then you are talking about things which have decreased and things which have remained unchanged. So it presents a very logical picture of the chart, and it becomes easy to follow. The reader does not get confused. Now, after you have grouped the data, then your planning portion is finished and you can move on to writing. So when it comes to writing introduction, you will start by paraphrasing the question. So as in this case, I have paraphrased the question for you, where I have changed the language of the question, but I am essentially saying the same thing. That is, in the question it says, the given bar chart shows a change in population in cities in a country between the years 1994 to 2024. In the introduction, when you paraphrase it, you can say the presented bar chart depicts the changes in population across multiple cities from 94 to 2024. So in your introduction, you paraphrase the question, and you do remember to mention what, where, when. In this case, what is population, where is multiple cities, different cities in a country, and when is your time which is given from the year 94 to 2024. Now, after you've written your introduction, then you will move on to the main body. So how to write the body paragraph of writing task 1? Well, as we discussed before, we will group the data, and in this case, we can see that city A and C, the population has increased. So I will present them together. And I can say, it can be seen that the population of city A and C has risen in the last 30 years. Specifically, city A's population has surged from 5 million residents in 94 to almost 11 million individuals in 2024. Similarly, the population of city C has increased from approximately 16 million to 18 million over the same time period. Now, if someone reads it, let's say the examiner reads this sentence, they can easily understand what is going on in the bar chart. They do not have to look at the question. They can understand that the population of city A and C has increased, and I've also given, and later on in the next sentence, I've also given by how much the population has changed. So I have also mentioned the data, the figures, and how it has changed over 30 years. And I will do the same thing for city B and D. Had there been more cities where a similar trend was depicted, let's say there is an imaginary city E where also population has declined, then I will group it with city D and present the figures of both the cities together. And as you can see, I have used connectors such as specifically and similarly. It gives a logical sequence to my body paragraph, and I've also used synonyms for increase. I've used the word surged, I've used the word increased. I can use other words such as risen, soared, go up, etc. If instead of a bar chart we get a pie chart with similar figures, then we will follow the same technique. As you can see here, City A, the population has increased from 5 million to 11 million, and City C, the population has increased from 16 to 18. City B remains stable, and in City D, the population has declined. So again, in this case, I will analyze it the same way. I will group the data together and I will write the introduction and body paragraph in the same way what I've done before with the bar chart. So there will be no difference. And that's about it. That's how you need to present your data in task 1. So I hope through this you now have some understanding on how to write, analyze the statistical charts in academic task 1, and what steps you need to follow and how you should present them. Yes, if you have a specific question or a doubt or a query, feel free to ask me in comments or reach out to me on this email address or even this phone number, and I'll be very happy to help you. So with that, I wish you the best for your IELTS exam, and I'll see you next time with more IELTS tips, tricks or analysis of questions. Ciao, ciao.